the map up a little. So now, since like I said earlier, I have the realism settings up a little. I cannot have the officers automatically do torpedo calculations. I have to do it myself. I'm not at super realism, so I don't have to play with all the TDC knobs. But I do have to input all this stuff manually for each target. And how I do that, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bearing tool from my sub to my target, and it's at 47 degrees. So we're going to find 47 up here. So there he is. We're going to lock on, and that looks like a Liberty to me. Still kind of out, so after I get this stuff, so now I'm doing the bearing tool from the target to me. Looks a little funky in the middle, but you can still read it. It is at 346, and you have to subtract 360 from 346. I have a second screen, so I use the calculator, Windows calculator, just to make my life simple. 346 minus 360, negative 14. So if we go back to the torpedo, angle on bow, negative 14. That's
attack parameters update. Angle 1-4 left.
That is the simplest way I have found to do angle on bow accurately. Right? It gets a little more well, okay. The estimate, it becomes more of a rough estimate once they start zigzagging. But right now, they're not alert, they're not zigzagging, they're just cruising. So that is a very accurate way to get the angle on bow. And then 3.7 kilometers. You have to enter it in meters, so 3,700 meters.
Update. Distance to target 3,700 meters.
Alright, and we're paused. So actually what we're gonna do now, hopefully this guy stays on the board long enough to do this. Since it's hard to see him with the waves and the distance and all that, we're gonna have to go a little bit longer. We're just gonna draw a few lines on the map, and we're gonna use the stopwatch on my cell phone, and we're gonna time how long it takes him to go that distance. Pulling it up. Alright. So stopwatch is ready on my phone. I got one finger over the phone, one finger right there, and we're going to go start. And we'll time how long it takes to do that, and then we're going to use some Google unit conversion and a little bit of division. We're going to turn that into meters per second, and then we're going to convert meters per second.
The enemy ships have sounded their alarm.
Well, that's not good.
We know the drill. Let's turn the tables.
Meters per second to knots.
Captain, we were pinged by Aztec.
Okay. Oh, 2 pings. That's not good. Right, he's coming up on the line. You've got time to react. Okay. 48.8 seconds. And how far was that line? 161? So 161 divided by 48.8. Gets us 3.3 meters per second. We multiply that by 1.94-ish. They're going about 6.4 knots. We're going to round that to 6. Clean the map up. Alright, so another alert. They're going to start zigzagging. You notice the circle got bigger? That's because the escorts have started firing flares into the sky. Their flares help you see better still too. So since we've been detected, we have decisions to make, right? He's beelining for us. See how earlier I said orientation matters? We were almost broadside to him, so that's probably how he pinged us. So we're gonna switch up targets. We're gonna go for this guy instead. It's gonna be kind of a long shot. So 35.
Update. Target speed 6 knots.
317 minus 360, negative 43.
Update. AOB 43 left.
2,400 meters.
Attack parameters update. Distance 2400 meters. We're pinged by Aztec.
We're gonna give him 3 torpedoes with a pretty good spread.
Flood tube 3. Tube 1 flooded.
Alright, so we have FAT right here, right?
Tube 3 flooded.
So let's go quick explanation on FAT. So FAT torpedoes will go out. They're gonna go on their bearing to their target, depending on all of this math that the computer does. And then they're gonna start turning and, you know, basically serpentine for a certain number of meters. They're gonna, you know, they'll turn, they'll go straight. They're basically 180, right? So they'll go out this as far as you tell it to. So I have to change that because he's obviously farther than 1500. So it'll go out, it'll hit the that preset distance. It'll do a 180-degree turn, either left or right, and then go another, I think it's 500 meters, and then do another 180-degree turn, 500 meters, 180-degree turn, 500 meters. So we need to, I always screw this up somehow, but we always need to think about how we want these torpedoes to turn. So if the torpedo turns right, if I miss, right, it turns right, but basically it'll zigzag or serpentine through the convoy. And this is probably how I screw this up. We'll turn left and we'll see what happens. If one of these will miss, at least, right? Because they're going to start zigzagging. It's not a point blank shot, and it's pretty good spread. So one of these is going to miss, at least. We'll see what happens.
Captain, we were pinged by Aztec.
Alright. We've got our gyro angle synchronized. We got our white light. Kind of get it centered on the ship. And set it for magnetic detonation. M for magnetic. At 7 meters deep, because this guy has an 8.47. We could technically try to go for 8, but other ships have 7, so if we miss, then we're set up to also hit those other targets.
Update. Speed 6 knots.
So we're going to tell it to start its turn at, it's going to be a little less than 2400, so we're going to tell it to turn at 2300. Hit enter. Don't forget to hit enter. Make sure you got your green light on your speed. This doesn't necessarily always need to be green.
Attack parameters update. AOB 4-5 bow left.
But I like to try to get it to be green, and then we're going to fire.
Fire.
And our little dude automatically started reloading because we're not at silent running. Alright, so this guy's gonna try to do a depth charge run on us. So we're gonna go blue lights.
Blue lights.
Since they're firing flares. We're gonna let that guy keep reloading. We're not gonna go to silent running yet. We're gonna clean the map up. So they're not actively pinging us anymore, if you notice that. So what we can try to do is launch a sonar decoy. We're going to turn off the drive, the electric drive for the dive planes. There we go. Words matter. And we're going to increase speed a little.
Torpedo has covered half the distance.
Faster! Faster!
Seconds to impact.
So I can see about 2 kilometers right now. They haven't launched a flare in a while.
130 degrees.
30 seconds.
Looks like we might miss all 3. Oh, there we go, right on the bow. We told these guys to turn left, so we're gonna see what happens with them. Oh, maybe they had a flare up. That's a really small circle. Surprise, 700. Like, normally that's like, there's fog. And there's no fog, right? So I don't know why my visibility is so garbage right now. We're a little ways away from the sonar decoys, so we're going to slow back down a hair. Right, there they go. They've started their turn. See that? Oh, that one's not a FAT. So this one is just a normal torpedo. This one's the FAT torpedo. So it turned left a little bit. And it should do its 180 here soon. Okay, we're going to go back. So he is leaning forward. He probably will sink. These smaller guys usually only need 1 torpedo, especially if you did a warm-up on them. Or maintenance, which I did. I had my guy maintain all the torpedoes and all the tubes before we did this attack run.
Destroyer, 95 degrees.
Alright, we're gonna do a quick...
Corvette, 35 degrees.
Sweep.
Destroyer, 75 degrees.
See if we can see this destroyer running down on us. I think that was him. Getting the option to target him. I see the carrot up top. Judging by how fast he's changing angles, I think he's going for the decoy. Because if he was coming straight at us, he wouldn't be changing angles. Yeah, that's him. He's out there somewhere. So we've lost him. We've broken the lock, so to speak. Alright, so we're gonna turn a little this way. Alright, so this, see, he did a left-hand turn, and now he's coming back to almost straight north. watch him to see which way he turned. But I think he did another left-hand turn, and then he'll do a right-hand turn. We'll give this guy another torpedo. So we go through all the steps again. We've already got him locked, so we don't need to figure out his bearing again. So 3:12. Bath time.
Update. Angle.
He's at
8
1.2.
left. Update. Distance 120 meters.
Flood tube 4.
We'll do another left-hand turn. And we were slightly in front, so we're gonna aim a little behind midships. Wait for our white light. We're green. You see how that one didn't stay green? That's okay.
Fire.
Should have had it turn right. Because it's basically staying ahead of the convoy instead of working its way into the convoy. But that one's looking pretty good. That's probably going to be a hit. Give it a little.
Torpedo has covered half the distance. It's a hit.
There we go. Now that guy's taking 2 torpedoes.
Serious damage.
He's definitely going to sink. These little guys. If you hit them in the bow or the stern like we did with just one, it'll take them a while, but they'll go down. But we've hit him twice now, so like he's done. We don't need to put another torpedo in him. What is this guy?
Set a course to these coordinates.
13 degrees. Unlock him. That guy. And that is a C3. We aimed a little behind amidships and we hit him in the stern, so this guy, we're going to not do that. We're going to aim center mass again, but we got to get our angle on bow. 314. And 2.5, so negative 46.
Attack parameters update. Angle on bow 4, 6
And what
left.
did I say? 2,500.
Update. Distance to target 250 meters.
Flood tube 1. Flood tube 2.
The crew evacuates the ship. Tube 1 flooded. Tube 2 flooded.
Now these guys turn right, and we're gonna give them 40 knots.
Update. Speed.
See how that went out when I
6
changed
knots.
the speed of the torpedo? I had to redo it. Alright, so we got white light, we're center mass. We'll turn you down a hair, 55.
Fire.
Tube 3 loaded.
Alright. Oh, our friend is here. So you've got time to react if you get pinged like that. They have to travel too. And he's not beelining straight for us, so he hasn't picked us up again yet.
The torpedo has covered half the distance.
They said this crew evacuated, but it's still moving. So I don't know why we don't see the lifeboats yet. That's
40 seconds to impact.
Oh, I hit a different target with one of my other torpedoes. So we've got this guy, wherever he's at.
30 seconds.
That first ship we hit, he's taking 2 torpedoes, so he's not happy wherever he's at. That guy, yep, see, he's going down by the stern now. But one of our other torpedoes hit something off in the distance. And it's burning.
It's a hit. 10 seconds to impact. Serious damage.
So we missed with one, but we hit with the other. So that's cool. Free ship. Looks like we were a little ahead with that other torpedo again. So we're going to give this guy another one. He's a bigger boat.
Flood tube 3.
Okay, so this is a loop. And this is where that 92 came in handy, or is going to come in handy, right? So this angle here, this took a long time to figure out because there's a bunch of videos out there and none of them really explain it well. Right. I had to do digging into Reddit and the Steam chat boards and all that stuff to try to figure out how these torpedoes work. Alright, so this angle here is the cardinal direction the torpedo will turn towards after it completes its initial run. Okay? After that, it will start its left or right turn like the FAT torpedoes. The FAT torpedoes, they shoot out and then they just start turning. This one will shoot out, turn towards the cardinal direction you tell it to, and then start its zigzagging. Okay? So the convoy was generally traveling at 92 degrees. So we are on the northern side of the convoy. So we want the torpedo to try to work its way to the middle of the convoy. So if the convoy is going this direction, and this is roughly the center of the well, not there, like so probably about right here. Oh, that's still weird. Yeah, right there. All right, don't worry about that. We're just looking at the circle in and of itself, right? So this is generally where the convoy is, and it's traveling 92 degrees. So we're here. So we want the torpedo to work its way to the middle, right? I feel like there's fewer ships down here than there are up here. So we're gonna have it go north, okay? And like I said, this is only if we miss, right? So we want the angle, the pattern rotation angle, to be perpendicular to the course of the convoy. And since I think there's more ships up here than there are down here, we're going to have it go towards the most ships. So 92 minus 90 to go north. So it's going to go at a course of 0.02 degrees. Okay, and we are, close this, 1.9 kilometers away. I'm okay with 1860. Alright, so make sure whenever you have these, you always hit enter when you're done. Okay? And we're going to turn this down to 30.
Update.
Because this is one of the steam torpedoes, the type 1s. So the slower it goes, the farther it goes. It uses up all its steam. If you go faster, it goes with 5, 7, 12 kilometers, That's the difference. So if we miss, we want this thing to be zigzagging around as long as possible. Alright. So this is the way I think about it with the left and right. So it's gonna turn to 002 before it starts left and right. So then I'm gonna want it to turn left. I want it to go towards the center of the convoy. So that's how we're gonna do this, if I miss. Okay. So the destroyer has turned away from us. That's a really good sign. Alright, we got white light, green, 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 1860-02, fire.
Fire!
Clean up the map. Alright, while that torpedo's traveling, we're gonna keep sweeping. Do a full 360, see if we can see where those destroyers are at. Oh, he's close. Where's our other friend who's going down by the stern? How's he doing? He's not happy. He'll probably start abandoning ship here soon, I hope. There's our other friend.
The torpedo has covered half the distance.
So we got 2 destroyers back here hunting me. This guy's coming in to support. Torpedo's still en route. He's pretty hurt. We may not have needed to send that second torpedo, but oh well.
Fire on board. Serious damage.
Oh, we hit another one with one of our tourney torpedoes. Don't know which one it hit, but we'll figure that out. Oh, dud torpedo. Rip. Okay, well, unfortunate. He's pretty hurt though. The problem with this game, they still ain't quite figured out how to make the ship stop when their propeller's out of the water. It's supposed to be, according to the patch notes, that if the center mass of the propeller is out of the water, the ship stops. But
Captain,
as you can
there's an
see,
incoming transmission.
that propeller is out of the water and that ship is not stopped. Alright, so that looks like the other guy we hit. And we're getting better hits. Yeah, he's already sinking. We're getting better hits with our random hits, our random tourney torpedoes, than we are with the ones we're actually aiming. That's kind of funny. Oh, he's close. Okay.
Good work. Captain.
Alright, there we go. We've been pinged. It's alright, what we're gonna do, we're gonna crash dive. We're gonna launch another sonar decoy.
Take care of it.
We're gonna hit silent running. And we're gonna go to flank speed.
Current up, 25 meters.
He is right on top of us, so... Destroyer, 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 destroyer.
45 meters.
We're gonna do this. Nope, we're gonna do this. We're gonna turn away. Send him to command. Since we're so deep, there's no need to be on a periscope.
40 meters.
Give me a current echo sounder reading.
It's not very deep here, compared to like the middle of the Atlantic.
Depth under keel is 3 meters.
So we could literally go all the way down to the bottom and just sit there if we wanted to. But we might be able to get back up and do more torpedo attacks. I like to make little marks on the map where ships got hit, in case they don't go
Ship
down.
propellers directly above us.
I think this was our first little friend. Hopefully he goes down.
45 meters.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Because you can come up and rescue crew member, well, take prisoners,
40 meters.
or even take stuff from the wreckage, like repair parts or food or health kits or whatever you find there.
Set a course to these coordinates. Dead slow ahead. Dive to 10 meters.
We haven't been pinged in a while, so we're gonna come back up to Periscope and see if we can do another
35 meters.
couple runs, because
Terminate silent running.
we have a few
Return to
torpedoes
normal
loaded.
operations.
Okay, we have a torpedo loaded.
Captain, there is an incoming transmission.
Alright, put him on the attack scope.
Affirmative.
Sometimes when you dive and you come back up, your little duders will want to try to get back on that observation scope.
Current depth, 10 meters.
So we just hold down Alt, right click.
Observation periscope allowed.
It says allowed, but it makes them go away anyway. They haven't quite synced up the commands. Alright, back to the map. Do our 360. Oh, he's close.
5 meters.
Okay.
Corvette, 285 degrees.
We're just gonna sling some numbers
Update.
here. 'Cause,
Speed, 25 knots.
Call it 55 and call it 1200.
Current depth, 10 meters.
Attack parameters update.
Because we
Distance to target, 1,
A
2,
homing torpedo.
0, 0 meters. They are sinking. AOB 5, 8, right. Flood tube 5. Tube 5 flooded.
you don't need to be perfect, you don't need to be exact, you just need to kind of get it in the right
Attack
direction.
parameters update. Target speed 2, 5 knots.
Because it's gonna do whatever it wants to do
AOB
anyway.
6, 7, right.
5 meters.
Theoretically, I don't even need to wait for the white light to come on. If you do all the numbers exactly perfect, it doesn't matter. With these homing torpedoes, they will lock onto the loudest sound near them and go for that. Which means you also don't want to be running full flank speed with diesel engines at periscope depth when you launch these things. They'll turn around and come back to you. So we just kind of get it pointed in the general direction, wait for the white light, launch it, fire and forget. It'll almost guaranteed hit. May or may not do much damage depending, because it'll
Fire.
go for the prop. But for a destroyer, one torpedo is usually all it takes. See there? Oop, I'm gonna go this way instead. Alright.
Tube 1 loaded.
We sunk that guy, he's still cruising for some gosh darn reason. Alright, well, We're just gonna take a quick looky-loo around. So those are the guys behind us. This is the big guy we hit. You see how now the prop is completely out of the water, but he's still moving because good game, Blizzard. Way over here, this is the first guy we hit. He's still cruising because why not? He took two torpedoes, but he's a boss. And then these two guys over here, we didn't even aim at. Lifeboats and wreckage, and somewhere over here. Yep, lifeboats and wreckage. We sank 2 ships we didn't aim at, and the 2 ships we did actually aim at are still going strong. Because, why not? See, we aimed at this guy, or I think it was, but it's going for, oh no, that is the guy we technically aimed at, but like I said, we just threw some numbers in to get the torpedo out the boat. There he goes, see how he went towards the back of the destroyer, and now he's turned in finally.
It's a hit.
There we go.
Fire on board.
Dead destroyer. Alright. Sometimes they'll slow down. They won't go the full speed, but sometimes they'll just keep going full speed, regardless. But we've technically achieved our goal for this mission. We sank 10,000 pounds in our patrol sector. So everything else after this is just cherry on top. And hopefully we don't get blowed up by depth charges. So we're gonna... keep on keeping on and see if we can get this guy. Actually, well, it might be smarter move to try to get away from these destroyers. Unlike older sub games where it was much harder to get a hit at a target to your side, this game, as long as you do all the math right, it's almost equal difficulty. It's a matter of the angle on the bow. So if I were to fire now at this guy, I would have a very poor chance of hitting. But even if I'm sitting right here parallel to him and I fired, I would have a much better chance of hitting him because he'd be more broadside to me. It'd be better if I was like right here, right? I don't need to point the sub directly to him to have a better chance of hitting in this game. Yep, see, there he goes, dead destroyer. It's all about the angle on the bow, because the broader the target, the better, versus how close they are to in front of me. So like, Silent Hunter 5, 4, 3, all those Aces of the Deep, all those sub games, you needed the target to be, you know, perfectly 90 degrees to the torpedo, the torpedo's direction of travel, for the maximum hit percentage. This one, you just need to do the math, plug the numbers in, and get as close to a broadside shot as possible, regardless of what direction your submarine is facing. It's harder in the earlier boats. I'm in a 7C/41, so right now I'm in the most advanced quote-unquote boat that you can get in the game. So my TDC is able to make adjustments even as I change course. The Type 7A In B, you can't do that. You have to be holding a steady course. If you turn, if you're in the middle of a turn and fire torpedoes, you're gonna miss. But the Type 7C and the C40/41, their TDCs have the upgrade, and I think it's the Type 2D has the upgrade as well. Alright, so we're going to start setting up on this guy. So he is 46. That one. That is a Liberty. Call it 6 knots.
Attack parameters update. Target speed 6 knots.
15 degrees angle on bow.
Update. Angle 1-5 bow right.
1 kilometer.
Attack parameters update. Distance to target 1,000 meters. Flood tube 1. Flood tube 2.
Definitely have this guy turn right this time.
Tube 1 flooded.
We're gonna wait a little bit though.
Flooded. Attack parameters update. Knots 6 knots.
Not a whole lot,
AOB
but
1-8 right.
pause real quick. We're gonna see how many torpedoes I got left. Okay, so that's it. These 4 torpedoes. That's all we got left for the front.
Tube 3 loaded.
Drop you back down to 7. We're sinking. As in S-Y-N-C-H, not S-I-N-K. Alright, we got white light. We're gonna double check. We're gonna wait a little bit more. Alright, we're gonna fire.
Fire.
As soon as those are out of the tube, we're gonna do the math on this guy. To close that, then you can do that. Alright, it's 298 minus 360, negative 62.
Update. AOB 6-2 left. Update. Distance to target 604 meters. Flood tube 3. Flood tube 4.
Okay. Alright, so those torpedoes are moving, these torpedoes... Alright, so hopefully... Okay, yes, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to unpause, start our turn.
40 seconds to impact.
Tube 3 flooded. Tube
Because
4 flooded.
one thing you can't do is if they get too far behind you or too far in front of you, you can't launch from your front
30
or rear
seconds.
torpedoes because it's out of angle or something like that, you know? So it's like, if this guy were at our, like, at bearing 210 on us, we wouldn't be able to
It's a hit.
fire the front torpedoes.
Serious damage. Torpedo hit the enemy. Fire. Fire on board. Serious damage.
So we hit that guy with 2 torpedoes.
40 seconds to impact.
So he's probably going to go down. And this game doesn't play pretty tight to the historical arming distances of these torpedoes, so I've had successful hits at less than 600 meters, which, if I remember right, the actual historical arming distance was 600.
20 seconds.
So if you fired closer than that, the torpedoes wouldn't be armed and they wouldn't detonate. But I've had
torpedo hit
like
the enemy. Serious damage.
All right, we missed with
10
one.
seconds to impact.
Hopefully it was enough to put him down. Alright, so now that we don't have any more torpedoes left in the front,
All hands, silent running. Keep it quiet.
we're just going to go silent running and we're going to try to exfil away from this convoy. So that guy's still cruising, that guy's still cruising. That's unfortunate. But we sank that destroyer, we sank these 2 guys. That guy's probably going to sink because he did eat both torpedoes. And hopefully this guy got hit far enough amidships to where he'll go down too. Yeah, he's already leaning pretty bad. Angry.
Evacuates the ship.
So if you're not sure what you sunk, you can always mouse over this thing. Empire Kamal sunk, Magog sunk, I-52 sunk, Hammond sunk, Hammond severely damaged. Sometimes there's multiple ships with the same name in one convoy, so that's probably 2 different Hammonds. And then patrol completed, and then some Cebu sunk. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 confirmed sinkings. So we're pretty sure that C3 that we shot, that we were watching burn, is now sunk. We can pop out and go up.
Current depth, 45 meters.
This little guy. Yeah, so that guy, obviously we don't see a burning ship anymore, so he's gone now. Oh, we've hit the max range. Okay, that's alright. You still get partial credit for severely damaging ships, so these two that wandered off over here, we're gonna get some credit for. But I don't feel like picking up prisoners this time, so we're just going to
Change course.
cruise off over this direction and clean the map all up. That's stationary. That's a destroyer trying to hear us. Or it's the lifeboat. Okay. So some other things that we've seen, that we can see here, we're not stressed, so that's awesome. We did all of that without even the crew getting stressed, but we are taking a discipline hit because we're 50 meters, anything below periscope depth, you're going to start accruing a discipline debt. The crew doesn't like going deep, right? Neglected food prep, you know, like while we're at silent running, no one's cooking. And then a lot of work from officers. We got a lot of our excess crew members assigned to officers. But we're getting a bonus for bounty hunt because we were killing stuff. Obviously our oxygen has gone down. We're at silent running still, so you can see the minus 15% usage. We're running on batteries, so you've seen our batteries are starting to go down. But I've got max research done for the batteries, and I've got a really high level engineer with 2 crew members on the batteries, so the batteries go down real slow, especially at this speed. Over here, silent running. So if we were stressed, you'd see another little icon, and it'd be like a dude with like the panic lightning lines or whatever, and then a progress bar underneath it, kind of like that progress bar. If you get to 100% stressed, someone's gonna crack, and they can literally freak out and start like banging on the hull or doing some weird crap or whatever, and the captain has to come over, punch them in the face, and get them to calm down. Or you can figure out, like, so like someone will either crack and you can get rid of them, or someone will actually be a sea wolf and they will be like, I'm super awesome under stress, and you want to keep the sea wolves, you want to get rid of the people who crack. But if you're managing your crew right, you're being smart and methodical. I honestly, I haven't had any crew members crack in a very long. I think I had one crew member crack on my first playthrough when I early on in a Type 2, you know. So I'm like sucking around England, not knowing how to play the game, and got my crew all freaked out, and one of them cracked. But this playthrough, even on a higher realism setting, just being, you know, calm, cool, collected, and trying not to do stupid stuff. I haven't had a crew crack. I've been sunk 6 times this playthrough, but I haven't had a crew member crack. So, you know, they may need to think about reworking that, or maybe, I don't know, something, you know, it's because, like, for me, the way I play, it's not a meaningful mechanic. But there's some people out there who literally, like, I want sea wolves, and I want, so, like, they'll put themselves into situations where their crew will crack, so that they can figure out who are sea wolves and who are scared babies, and then adjust accordingly and stuff. But I haven't seen a need to do that.
Current up 55 meters.
Everything's pretty much behind us now, so we're gonna go back up to normal periscope depth.
Captain, we're at periscope depth, ready for surface operations.
We're gonna put him on the periscope.
Affirmative.
Captain, we have reached our target.
Alright, so there's nothing there. We're gonna stop silent running, we're gonna stop the alarm, we're gonna stop direct orders. And it doesn't autosave. Alright, so he's on duty. Unassign all those crew members. So now, you see our work from officers has gone down. Just need someone to start cooking again. So we're gonna put up the snorkel, turn on the gyro, turn on the electric. now we're positive, we're gaining discipline,
Tube
gaining
5
discipline, gaining. The very last torpedo has been reloaded. Our oxygen's regained because the snorkel's up. We're almost full discipline again already. That quick. Alright, so we're done, basically.
Man the radio
We have no
room.
torpedoes left. We've done the mission. I don't need to be out here any longer. So I'm going to put a dude in the radio room. Always transmit your queued messages. That's 18,000, whatever you want to call them, monies that you won't get otherwise. If you just end the mission right now, all that money you don't get. So send your messages.
I need some help here. Yes, sir.
At this point in the game, the enemy can triangulate your radio messages and backtrack you and attack you, so
Report sent.
it'll let you know if it happens though. Like, I don't have that realism setting turned to stupid high, so it'll tell me if they detect my message. They did not, it doesn't matter. But anyway, we're done. Return to port. I'm not going to cruise all the way back across the Atlantic with no torpedoes.
We are in shallow waters, Captain.
Yeah, we took a couple licks early on in that patrol. I didn't record any of that. But we got in a brush with a destroyer patrol, 5 destroyers, and they gave me a couple depth charge runs. Managed not to get sunk. So that's the other interesting thing about this game is they definitely include a lot of these historical events. This actually happened in real life during World War II. A German U-boat was trying to pull survivors out of the water after sinking their ship, and an American plane disregarded the Red Cross flag and bombed them anyway. And orders were given to like basically stop trying to pick up survivors. So you know, war is what it is. You know, it's shit out there. But yeah, the game includes these kinds of things. You know, like when the Norway campaign and the Mediterranean campaign and stuff like that. Obviously, this is after December 7th, 41, so the U.S. is in the war and all of that, you know, and so you get these little messages of, you know, like with historical context to give it a little dash of reality. Post-mission stats. So we got credit for sinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for freighters and 1 destroyer. So one of those other ones that we hit early on must have gone down, and they gave us credit for it. So that's cool. Alright, so one of my crew got tuberculosis. That's why you see the hospital bed. This guy got done training. So now I can show you the milk cows. Okay, so I have 3 milk cows now. Awesome. So if I wanted to spend a reputation point, I could have these milk cows. Maybe you can have it move. It's been a while since I played with them. But yeah, I guess you can put them wherever you want. But it does take a reputation point and an officer. I have a crap ton of officers right now, so I have more than enough officers in the wings on standby that I can do these things with. But these two are right next to each other. Probably don't need them right next to each other. So what I'm probably gonna do, I probably will do, we're gonna do something like that. In case it gives me one of those southern approach missions. Actually, down there. Accept. Alright, so that milk cow's moving. 11 days. I don't have any survivors to offload. You still eat food when you do the speed run back home, so come back in here. I always refill food before going to the supply officer. Double check all your homies.
Captain?
Make sure they've got
Yes, sir.
their pockets full.
Affirmative.
I've got a few spare medkits in this guy. I'm not keeping them completely full, but I do have this guy full of repair parts as well. So repair parts, repair parts, repair
Ready
parts,
for your
repair
orders.
medkits. So these guys also have rebreathers, but I also have. Go away. I don't want you to eat. I also have 3 more full rebreathers in here. So you need those if compartments get flooded. Although I have found if you're really messed up, if you've got more than 2 major leaks, you're going down. Even with 3 dudes that can do repairs, you get 3 major leaks, 4 major leaks, more than likely you're going down. You just can't get the water out fast enough. And once your buoyancy hits like -30, you're done. Because the deeper you go, the less your pump works. The less your pump works, the less water you pump out. You're hosed. But you got a few minor leaks. It's not that big a deal. If you got just like component damage, it's not that big a deal. But yeah, big major leaks, you're hosed. Unless you're in real shallow water and you can just sit on the bottom and plug the leaks and let the pump do its thing, you're wrecked. I had one patrol where I was -100% buoyancy, but I was sitting like, alright, where's Britain? I was sitting like in here. So shallow, I was able to sit on the bottom, plug the leaks, run the pump, and survive. And got an achievement for it. But yeah, like if you're out in the Atlantic and you get 2-3 big leaks, you're screwed. Other than that, resupply is resupply. Sometimes it might be a good idea to see what missions are available before resupply, in case it's a mine run, like a mine lane mission that they want you to go on. It doesn't do you any good to buy a bunch of torpedoes just to have them taken away from you without compensation so that you can have mines. Or if you're doing, like if you get the Rescue the Enigma mission, or if you get the Pick Up the Gold mission and you don't already have diving bell cabinet, if you don't have one of these already, and like, so before you go to the supply officer, sometimes it's a good idea to look at missions, or just reload and then look at missions. So I'm going to look at missions then
liaison
reload.
officer, relaying orders directly from the Admiralty. How may I assist you today, Captain?
And this is where it's not really intuitive. I was telling you about favors before. You go to ask favors and you can see all these different things. So specialized crew, that's your 6th crew member. Specialized crew 2, that's your 7th crew member. And then you've got all these other things. So I've got a bunch of reputation right now, so I'm going to do additional mission choice 1 and additional mission choice 2. So now I get 2 extra missions to look at.
These are current orders from the headquarters. Your eyes only.
I don't have any fatigue. Oh, we can do the Japanese submissions. I already have that achievement, so I don't need to do that. And these are color-coded. So these blue bands mean they're just, they don't really contribute to a mission, but these are, well, a campaign rather. They don't contribute to a campaign, but these ones that are yellow do contribute to specific campaigns. So this Operation Drumbeat over on the east coast of the United States, we're going to do that one. So we're going to select. All right, so this is just a hunt 'em, kill 'em.
What do you need,
Got a
officer?
resupply.
Take a
See
look.
what you got. Used a lot of health kits. We used a lot of repair kits. Used a lot of sonar decoys. I always try to get back up to 100. The max stack is 100, but sometimes you can't. So, like, there's just not enough food at the supply depot for you to do that. But what you can do is after you're done reloading and restocking, sell that. I personally like to try to have a couple of each kind of torpedo like next to each other, so I'm always kind of shooting the same type of torpedo. But it really doesn't matter as long as you're just paying attention to what torpedoes are in what tubes when you're shooting them and doing the setups right. Not a huge deal. Just what you're comfortable with. The T1s are the steam, so they have the variable speed settings, so you can have them going slow and far or fast and close. They're really good for ships that are zigzagging if you set them to max speed and they're close, you know, so they get there before the ship can turn out of the way. The T3s are electric, so they don't leave a steam trail, so they're harder for the enemy ships to detect. The T5s are the homing torpedoes. And then on the right side, you see these are the pistol types, so like the actual detonator. So that I don't have any more, but the original PI1s, I have a high dud rate. The PI1 Plus are improved. The PI2s, PI3s, and PI4s, those are all much improved and have a much lower dud rate if you're playing with duds turned on. But yeah, T1s, steam, T3s, electric. T2s are electric. There's a T2. The T3s go farther than the T2s, but they both go the same speed. So the T3 goes 7 kilometers, the T2 goes 5. And then the T5 torpedoes, there you go, 44 kilometers an hour or 24 knots at 6.5 kilometers. So 7.5 for the T3s, my bad. I was wrong. It's hard to, there we go, 5, yeah, so 5 kilometers for the T2s, 7.5 for the T3s, 6.5 for the T5s, but they're slower. They only go 44 kilometers an hour, which is about 24 knots, versus these guys going 56 kilometers an hour, which is 30 knots. And then the T1s can go up to 81 kilometers an hour or 44 knots. So you know, they're getting almost 50% more speed at their highest speed setting than a T3 or a T2. So I generally like T1s because I like them, especially if I'm doing convoy runs and there's a lot of zigzag. The fast torpedoes are better. Alright, and almost done with this one. Like I was saying,
Ship mast, small group. Ship mast, small group.
after the
Bearing 285 degrees.
resupply is done,
Ship mast,
Need officer.
we go back.
bearing
We've been notified by a
285
friendly
Take a
degrees.
look.
vessel of a possible
Bearing
target within our vicinity.
285 degrees.
Go back to food.
Ship mast, small
Now there's
group,
more food,
bearing
so now we can get back up to
285
100.
degrees.
Another U-boat has just reported a possible target within our range.
And there you go.